Hi, this is Rajat from StartupFrat. Hope you had a rocking weekend. I have a very special piece of information for you, and I'm going to call it the 20-minute MBA. Okay, so we'll just help clear out a bunch of the different questions, doubts, concerns, and just different thoughts that have been going around in your head as per what I can feel from all the emails, etc. I'm getting. And I thought I should put this out just so that some of these doubts get cleared. And warning, some of the bright romantic ideas in your head may also get smashed. So, but hey, you want me to give you the best possible advice? I'm giving you the best possible advice. Okay. So I'll just quickly outline what is the structure of business. What really is business, yeah. And all of the other stuff that seems like business was not really business. And then what are the different costs and risks and things involved in each of these, just so that you know where to put your money, where to put your time, and where to put your attention. Okay. So there are three different aspects. One is finding a customer or a market with a specific problem. You find a bunch of customers or what we call a market with a particular problem that they want solved. The second thing is solve that problem in return for money. Okay. And then when you're going about solving that problem for people, it involves spending some money on your part as well, because you will either be building something or you will be providing a service. So that's what we call product cost or services cost, which could also be in terms of your own time. If you yourself are going and solving somebody's problem, then your own time is being spent, and that is a cost to you, because just divide your annual take home by 2,000, and that is your hourly rate. And if you spend 2 hours doing something for somebody, then that is the amount of money basically you spent. Okay. So there's always cost is always in rupees or dollars, not in terms of time. And okay, I did it myself, so it's no cost to me. It is always a cost to you. Okay. So if you just divide your total take home or your total desired take home, divide that by 2,000, and that is your hourly cost or your hourly rate. And if you invest that 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours in solving a client's problem, then that's basically that money that you're spending. Just to give you my own example, if I go out and tell a client how I'm going to solve their problem, just to tell a client how I'm going to solve their problem is a cost to me, because my own personal time is getting invested over there. So what I've done is I've created a wrapper around it. I call it a consultation. I give them the 10 points that will help them get from where they are to where they want to be, and those 10 points are very valuable for them. And then I tell them, if you want to hire me, you can hire me as well. These are my rates. But in that consultation, I charge them 55,000 rupees for 90 minutes. So I need to be paid for my time just to tell the client what I'm going to do for them. And if after that they don't choose to hire me, that's fine. They say, thank you so much. This was the best thing I ever learned. And you gave me 10 points by which I can improve my sales and marketing. This is the best possible education in the world. Actually, 55,000 rupees is nothing for this. So, thank you very much. Even if they don't do business with me, they still pay me. They have to, because my time is getting invested over there. Okay. So there is no time that you invest that does not cost you money. All your time costs you money, hard money. Okay. So this is product cost or services cost. Now you can make these products yourself. Okay, which means you set up a factory, put a lot of money over here, put up an assembly line, roll these products off, then have trucks. How do I make a truck? Have these trucks, let's say this is a truck, in delivering that product over to the customer or whatever. And if you let's say invest 5 crore rupees, okay, 5 crore rupees of initial capital investment, and then 1 crore per year in annual running costs. Let's say you spend 6 crore, let's do a 3-year period. Okay, so 1 crore per year for 3 years. If at the end of the day you have spent, let's say, a total of 8 crores, at the end of 3 years, if you spend 8 crores, making let us say, 1,000 pieces of whatever product, then your cost per piece is 80,000 per piece, whatever you may be making. Okay, and then you imagine you're making a car, and to make 100 cars it costs you 8 crore rupees. So the cost that it costs you to make that car is 8 lakh per car, and then you sell it in the market for 12 lakh, 13 lakh, whatever it is. Okay, so this is your cost. What you're going to incur this cost over here. You're going to incur this cost over here regardless of whether you make the product yourself or whether you buy it from someone and supply it to the customer. Okay, so don't get too caught up in how do I do this? Do I set up a factory? Do I set up an export unit? I need to export some stuff over to Europe. I want to make a factory or a path lab or something, that is complicated. Don't worry about it. It's not a complicated system. All you got to figure out is how much is it going to cost me, long story short, to roll every single piece of the assembly line, get it in the hands of a customer, and then what can I charge for it? So if you make a car for 8 lakh rupees and you charge a customer 13 lakh or 12 lakh or 10 lakh or whatever, that's your profit margin. Okay, so the difference between this and this is also hard money, and this is called profit. Okay, now I want to just break the whole thing down for you with a dotted line over here. This, my friend, is the game. Okay, we'll call it #the game. Okay, and this, my friend, below this line, all of the stuff you have to do in order to make, assemble, deliver the product is a headache. Okay, and it's a necessary evil. You have to make product in order to get paid to sell it to someone, right? So this is a necessary evil and it's a headache. This is not the game. We'll call it #not the game. Okay, all of this stuff is not the game. This is the game. Okay, now there is a huge difference between people who play here and people who play here, and I will just tell you what it is. Okay, so just understand that this is the game. Finding a customer and getting paid to solve their problem, finding a customer with a problem, getting paid to solve that problem is the game. Now that may involve doing a bunch of things at the back end, which is why I call it the back office, is not the game. #not the game. Okay, so what is the difference between the game and not the game? Let me just get this out of the way. If you operate in layers 1 and 2, which is finding and getting paid, get paid, and the third thing is operational cost or whatever cost it is, it's all a cost. Okay, so this is your money out, and this is your money in. Okay, you will need a large amount of cash injection to do this. Cash injection, a lot of money required to set up a unit, set up a shop, get some employees, get maybe machines, machinery, raw material, etc., and start producing the product or whatever. Lots of cash injection required. Because there is cash injection required, there is lots of risk. What if coronavirus happens and the demand goes down? Then you still have to pay the rent. You already paid for those expensive machines, and you still got to keep paying salaries because the government is saying you cannot cut salaries at a time of COVID. So you got to keep paying salaries. You got to keep paying the lease price on the land that you bought or you leased or whatever it is, the space. And the risk is that you're not making any money. Okay, so there's a lot of cash injection required. There's a lot of risk over here. There's a lot of liability over here. What is the liability? That if your product malfunctions, if you're selling a car and the whole thing like self implodes, on the road and kills a couple of people or something, then basically they're going to come after you. Okay. Right. And in this area, which is, what do we call this? We call it hashtag the game. Okay. Finding and getting paid for stuff. First of all, there is, in today's times, there is literally very less cash injection required. Why is that? In the old times, to be able to find a customer, you had to put ads in the papers, put, rent hoardings and things like that. And that used to cost a lot of money. And then you had to, pay Amitabh Bachchan or somebody to do an ad for you and things like that. So all of these people, the people who create the ads, the people who feature in the ads, where do you put the ad? How do you pay the newspaper guy to distribute the ad all over the place? All of that used to cost a lot of money. In today's times, it doesn't, because you don't need Amitabh Bachchan, which is why I tell you to do video journaling. You are the local Amitabh Bachchan, dude. Whatever. You just video yourself talking about stuff, and the people will connect with your personality. Doing videos is free. Spreading videos is free. Okay, this whole Facebook group that I put a bunch of videos every single time, it's all free. There is no real money involved. Okay, so cash injection is zero. The second thing is the risk is also zero. Why the risk zero? Today I'm talking about how to improve your sales and marketing, get an alternate stream of income, because there's a slowdown because of Corona. So if you're feeling under risk, if you're feeling hurt, if you're feeling this, I'll give you a couple of tips that will help you get out of this situation. Right? Now, 2 or 3 years from now, 4 years from now, once you've already set yourself up nice, hopefully, using a little bit of inputs from me and all of that, whatever, you don't need that information anymore, because in times of, where times are going good, people are busy, everybody has money, people are busy going to cinema halls, watching TV, spending money, going on vacations. Nobody is really interested in adding a second stream of income to their own self. In good times, people are busy spending the money, not really figuring out how to earn more money, right? So that advice may become less and less relevant as the market goes up. At that point, what I can do is I can just change that advice to something else, which is how the best to manage the money that you're already making. That advice changes. And how much money does it cost to change that advice? Literally nothing. So there is no risk. You're extremely flexible. You're extremely flexible over here. You can change your message anytime. You can change your market anytime. Right now, I'm talking mostly to corporate professionals, independent professionals, small business owners, etc. Why? Because those are the people who are getting hurt. Tomorrow, if I find a different problem, let's say people who have issues with their health or something like that, and I figure out, okay, that's where the money is. All I do is I change the message and change the market and set up a different Facebook group where I give health related, inputs and tips. And then I can literally rebuild the whole thing from scratch within a period of 30 to 50, 60 days. Okay. So what is the risk? There is really no risk. I didn't invest any hard money anyway. Okay. Very, very flexible. Okay. No risk, no cash injection. No risk, no cash injection. Highly flexible. Okay. What is the liability? What is the liability? Because this is opt-in based, which means you choose to watch the videos when you choose to watch the videos. And if you like them, you comment on them saying, hey, this was really useful. If you use my advice and it doesn't work for you, what is the liability? You can't really sue me and say, I used your advice, it didn't work for me. Okay, you came in through your own opt-in and you watched the videos for weeks on end because of you wanting to watch the video. In fact, there are many people on this group who don't watch those videos. So they stop seeing those videos because the Facebook algorithm stops showing them the videos. And the algorithm by itself decides, because this person has not seen any of your videos, not commented on any of your videos for the last 5 days, 6 days, then we'll stop showing them those videos, because Facebook's algorithm works on showing people more of what they want to see. Okay, so liability is relatively less. Okay, profit potential. All of the biggest companies in the world today, my friend, all of the richest people in the world today, they work here. Profit potential is unlimited. Profit potential is unlimited. Okay, this is where the action is. Hence, this is called hashtag the game. And this thing is called hashtag not the game. Now, I've got a lot of emails from you folks saying that, I want to set this thing up. I want to set a unit up. I want to do some, set an export unit up. I want to set up a production unit. I want to set up a path lab, whatever it is. That's cool. If you want to go here, absolutely, please do that. There's a little criteria I'm going to give you so that you don't lose crores of rupees in something that you don't understand. Okay, so let me just give you that little advice. You don't need to follow it. If this is your passion area, go for it. Okay, but you do business for money. At the end of the day, you do business for reasons of success, and you will be successful in this game if you or your parents and their parents, 3 generations, you or your parents or their parents combined, or all across 3 generations, if you spent 10,000 hours or more in this industry, and you understand this part of the industry, which means if you set up a factory making cars, you understand exactly how to launch a car in the market because you worked for Tata Motors for at least 10,000 hours between you, your parents, and their parents. Across 3 generations, if you spend 10,000 hours, working hours, doing this part successfully in this area, then you can absolutely set this up. Absolutely do that. Okay, because you understand the industry, you understand how the car will be sold, you understand what's going on in the market mind of the customer and things like that. Okay, so if you have spent 10,000 hours doing this for somebody else or for yourself, if your parents owned a factory that was relatively successful, if your grandparents owned a factory that was relatively successful, or a business house or a path lab or whatever it is, right? If your parents or your grandparents knew this stuff, then you can do this stuff because you can get free advice from your parents and grandparents, right? Okay, but if you take money from the market and invest 2 or 3 crore rupees, 5 crore rupees or whatever it is in this, and then you try to learn it, because it takes 10,000 hours to master any skill, 10,000 hours, my friend. Okay, then basically you're playing with your life. If you lose that money, then you're basically screwed. Okay, so that is the advice over here. Now I'll tell you a little story, and that will help you understand much better because people understand stories better, right? So I'll tell you the story of let us say Amazon or Apple, because there's a lot to learn from these companies. These companies came from nowhere and they beat out giants in their specific industry that were there for 200 years and all of that. Another grocery store called JCPenney in the US, which was billions and billions of dollars, a 200-year-old grocery chain, just like Big Bazaar in the US, shut down their operations and called in for bankruptcy earlier this week. Okay, they could not survive because of Corona, because people are now going to go out and stand in line at a grocery store, all the while that Amazon is still delivering. So we'll just quickly learn the story of Amazon. First of all, Jeff Bezos did not have any experience in doing retail. Okay, he said, so he did not go out and take crores of rupees of loan and set up a factory or a retail store or like a Big Bazaar or anything like that. No, he figured out on the smallest possible market which in industry terms is called a niche area. Okay, and a relatively risk-free market. Which was book readers. Now, why is it a risk-free market? And it's an unlimited market. Unlimited market. Why? Because it's a very small market. Less than 2% of people on this planet actually read books in the post-university years. Okay, less than 2% of people on this planet actually read books. So it's a very small market. But those people who read books, like I read books, there is a gluttonous craving every weekend to pick up a book, like any book, like read a book. Okay, as soon as you get done with your Monday to Friday or Monday to Saturday work and all that, there's a gluttonous craving to read a book. There is no limit to the amount of books I can read. I typically read about 50 to 60 books a year. Okay. And so this is a relatively unlimited market. Okay. If a person buys one book from you and they have a good experience, they're going to buy all their books from you, provided you have the supply. Okay. So it's an unlimited market. You get the customer once, you serve them right once, and they're going to buy from you for life. The gluttonous craving to want to read a book. If you're like me, yeah, just write in the comment box BW, bookworm, right? Or geek. Okay. So the market is unlimited. Second things, it's a very small market. If you fail in that market, nobody will know. It's only 2% of the total people in the world. So if you fail, nobody will know. Okay. And second thing is it's risk free. People rarely return books. People rarely get a book and then they say, oh, I didn't like the book, let me return it. In fact, the concept of returning books was never even there before Amazon came. Okay, so it's relatively risk-free. And at the maximum, a book reader will probably buy 10 books from you before they think that, okay, this book was probably not good, let me return it, no questions asked. Nobody does that. Okay, people actually buy a bunch of books and they never actually read them. So I've got maybe at least 100 books in my house that I've never read fully. I just read a chapter, 2 chapters. Sometimes it didn't resonate, so I said, okay, I'll read it later. Or sometimes other things took over, and that book is just lying there. It was, if it was a very gripping book, I would have finished it in one weekend. But because it was not, it was just, different things came over, and then I never got to complete that book. Okay, but I never returned it. People will probably buy more books from you and not read them than they will actually read the book and say, okay, this is horrible, let me return it or something. Nothing. Nobody does that. Okay, nobody does that. It's a risk-free market. The other thing it's risk-free is because you can buy a book. Now, Jeff Bezos didn't go about writing all kinds of books that his customers wanted. He just bought those books from his competition, which were the publishing houses. Okay. And why is it risk-free is because in no country of the world you can get a book bought by it in America and bring it over to India. In no country of the world is any import duty or customs applied on books. In no country of the world is any import duty or customs applied on books. So it is a global market, risk-free because it is global. No taxes, no nothing. All you have to do is figure out how to get the freightage, get this book from there, ship it across and make it available to somebody in India, for example. Okay. So he did this and then he captured this market of readers. This is a bunch of geeky heads who want to read a lot of books. And this is Amazon. Now remember, before Jeff Bezos starts building out a bunch of stuff, he needs to have at least 10,000 hours of experience. I told you, don't go about building a lot of stuff if you don't have 10,000 hours of experience, right? Or if you wouldn't like to get 10,000 hours of experience for free. So why do I do these videos for free? Because I'm building my 10,000 hours of doing video stuff, because somebody told me if you want to build online communities, which are a thing of the future, then you need to do a lot of videos so that people connect with your personality. So, okay, Rajat, go out and do 25 videos and don't call me before you do 25 videos at least. That's what my coach told me. And so I said, okay. And basically, if I want to be the best at this game, I need to have 10,000 hours under my belt. So I'm doing these videos like, 3 to 5 times a week because I want to get that 10,000 hours of experience doing videos. Okay. But you see, this is not my primary source of income, and I did not invest 2 crore rupees trying to learn this game. I'm learning it for free and I'm learning it in my spare time. And even if I fail, I lose literally no money whatsoever. So that's what Jeff Bezos did. He started serving this market, which was a risk-free market. And then what he did was he would actually buy the books. He did not go about writing books and starting a printing press and all of that, or starting a publishing house. No, he just bought the books and he got them to a local courier provider and got them sent to any place on the globe. And he did the whole customer support. The only thing they did was customer support. So if you didn't get your book on time that you'd paid for, you'd just email them and they would email you right back and figure out where the shipment was. And all of that stuff they did themselves, which was not a lot of money. Not a lot of money. They got a bunch of people to do their customer support. And there are actually photos of Jeff Bezos sitting in his garage office where he's actually doing the customer support himself. And there's a computer with lots of connections, modems and phones, because he's doing the customer support himself. Okay. So he did not go about investing a lot of money in there. Once he mastered this market, these buyers trust Amazon. By now, they don't trust the book publishing houses, they trust Amazon because superior customer support. Now he starts, and then he's getting these from publishing houses over here. Okay, these are all the publishing houses who are writing the books. Jeff Bezos is buying them, shipping them over to customers, and then charging them. And many of these customers are happy to pay inflated rates because the freightage is expensive. If they can get a book from the US just here in India, if somebody can just do that for them. So I once got a book that cost 1700 rupees. By the time it came in my hand, it was 3500 rupees because the freightage was another 1700 rupees. But that was a very, very specialized book, and it was going to teach me something very, very important, in my marketing life, and I was happy to pay that money. Anyway, long story short, he gets the trust of these customers. So what he does is he starts expanding the layers of what all he can supply, because now he's figured out the model. He's got the freightage suppliers. He's got trust from these customers. Now these customers start buying other things from him. So he starts solving some other problems in addition to books. Okay, then these customers are like, wow, this is really cool. And because now he's supplying stuff outside the 2%, which is the books, he's supplying other stuff. He's supplying, kitchen accessories and things like that. Now there are more people that are buying from him. Okay. Now remember, they don't trust these people. They don't trust these people. They only trust Amazon. Okay. In fact, I don't even remember the brands I buy from. I just go to Amazon, I search for something, I see the cheapest possible price that can be delivered in 2 days, free with my Prime membership, and boom, I pay for it and I'm off. I don't even remember what brand I buy anymore. Okay. And then what he does is he goes out, adds more and more suppliers in more and more areas, and existing areas also he expands other suppliers. Okay. And then even for books, he adds literally every author, every book in the world. And he pretty much goes and supplies literally every person in every country of the planet. Okay. Now the key thing here is who is controlling the market. What you see in the Amazon algorithm is what Amazon decides you will see. What you see in the algorithm is what Amazon decides you will see. And they don't make any of this stuff themselves. They tell these guys that your cost to produce is 40 rupees. My customer may be willing to buy this at 60 rupees. But if I'm going to buy from you in bulk, either you sell to me at 20 rupees or I'm not going to put you on my platform. And these guys, they say, okay, whatever, if you're going to sell my stuff in bulk, then take it for 20 bucks. And then they will give you a discount, sometimes for 55 bucks, sometimes for 57 bucks, sometimes for 60 bucks, sometimes for 62 bucks. This is a dynamic pricing. So what I get to see and what prices I get to see are not fixed. It depends on what Amazon is willing to charge for them at that point. Okay, do this little exercise. Go to any particular product that you like and save that link and just save the screenshot of that. Save the web link and save a screenshot. It'll show you a price. 1 week later, hit that same link and compare the price with your screenshot 1 week back. The prices would have changed. They may be up or down, but the algorithm basically decides what price to show you depending on what you may be willing to pay for it. Okay. Now for people like me who don't even spend 5 minutes before deciding to buy something that is worth 300, 400 rupees, chances are they may be making maybe 5, 10 rupees more from me here and there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay. But they are the ones who decide what you get to see and what you get to buy. And they are the ones who decide what price that they buy from these people cost. They didn't go about building all kinds of factories and all of that. They just bought it from people already making. And they're going to buy from the lowest possible bidders. So they buy a lot of Chinese products and ship them to all over the world because they're cheaper. And today, the algorithm decides who stays on the platform, who doesn't stay on the platform. And the algorithm collects this money in advance and pays these guys out 60 days later. Okay, so not only do they charge in advance, they charge more, they make a profit off of it, and then they keep that money in the bank, and then they earn interest on it for two full months, and then they pay these guys out. And if for any reason these guys complain, boom, you're out, dude. You're one of 1,000 other people that is on that platform. You're a nameless, faceless brand that nobody cares about. Okay, But because people only care about Amazon now, Amazon gives the best possible customer service on this planet, the best possible. I could have ordered something from Brazil, and if I send them a mail saying I ordered this 2 days ago, why is it not here? The moment in the chat with us and call us option, you just press that button once and like somebody calls you, like even at 2 o'clock in the night. I just say, I have a problem. I press that button, call me, boom. I press the button and a call shows up on my mobile phone, whatever time of the day. And this amazing level of customer support. Okay. So it's a great company. It's changed the face of the world, but Amazon doesn't care about or doesn't depend on any one of these people. If you were to go to Amazon, say, why is this thing 5 rupees more expensive than last time I bought it was 5 rupees less expensive, whatever. They don't care. They're providing a valuable service to the whole world, and every single face in that customer lobby doesn't matter to them. So they're not dependent on you. Okay, compare that with your business. When you go in front of a customer and the customer is trying to beat you down on price, saying, yeah, that's fine, but your competitor is giving it to me for so much money, so I'll probably buy from them, etc. There are many products that I find cheaper on Myntra and Flipkart than I do on Amazon, but I still buy from Amazon. And if I go out and buy from Myntra, Amazon doesn't really care. Okay, so they don't depend on any of these guys, because none of these people drive more than 1% of their business. They don't depend on any of these people because they're easily replaceable. Okay, and the person who controls the market, so this is your market and this is your supplier, and this is the guy over here that everybody trusts. This guy trusts, the supplier trusts only Amazon. They don't trust you. Otherwise, they won't give you cash on delivery. These guys are not willing to give you cash on delivery because they don't trust you. And these guys don't want to buy straight from these guys. They only trust Amazon. This, my friend, is what you call a linchpin. This is called a linchpin. Somebody who doesn't really produce anything, but they control the market from both sides. They control the supply and they control the demand. Okay, this is what you call a linchpin. They control the supply and they control the demand. And they have competition. Amazon has other competing companies, but they're not bothered about the competing companies. In fact, they are more than happy if you go and buy from the competition, because the level of support and service you'll get over there will probably be inferior. So just to save 200-300 rupees, you'll have a bad experience and then you'll keep running back to Amazon. Not only that, they can crush their competition any single day simply because they have more suppliers. So they are able to provide you the same thing to the customer for cheaper anyway. So actually their competition cannot really compete with them. But that's fine. Everybody has competition. That's no problem. But what Amazon is doing over here is they are the linchpin. They are the irreplaceable part of this puzzle. So their business is secure. These guys' business, the supplier, their business is not secure. So what Amazon did was they said, remember that third tier, hashtag not the game? They didn't focus on that. They focused only on the first part of the game, which was hashtag the game, which is finding a customer with a problem and solving that problem for them. First, they started with books, then they went into kitchen accessories, then they went into everything. And today you can pretty much buy anything and everything that you want from Amazon. Okay, this is a concept called the linchpin. Also relevant with Apple. Also relevant with Apple. Apple is in the business of not cell phones. Apple is in the business of iCloud, which is the intelligence that runs the cell phone. And what happens is Apple makes that software, improves that software all the time. This is Apple. 60% of the market they control. And then there's a bunch of lookalikes like Samsung, OnePlus, all the Chinese, Korean people. Right? This is all of these hundreds of other competitors that only control 40% of the market. They're living off the scraps, right? They're the stuff that you throw out, and there's 100, maybe street dogs or something that they fight over the scraps. So whatever. I don't mean to be disrespectful towards any other company, and I myself use a OnePlus phone. What I'm trying to explain over here is that Apple decides what the market will see. Apple decides what the market will be able to do. They bring newer and newer technologies, features, capabilities to their devices first. And that is how they hold on to their customer base. Plus, Everything is in the iCloud. So Apple is very, very difficult to replace. If you want to get off Apple because this is something you don't like, then you got to change your phone, you got to change your computer, you got to change your tablet, everything, because the iCloud is like, it doesn't sync with anything else. So very difficult to get out of Apple, but they make sure that they provide you so much value that you don't want to get out of Apple. And they don't care. They are actually happy having all these other Chinese, Korean suppliers because when they need to go into production, they actually rent the facilities of these people to make their own product sometimes. Okay, so when they had to come out with capacitive touchscreen, there was so much of a demand for it that Apple could not produce 1 million of these a month. So they outsourced the whole thing to Samsung, and Samsung was basically the company that made all of the capacitive touchscreens for the first few Apple devices. Okay, now today Apple has gone ahead and bought many of these companies. So what you don't see in the background is that all of Apple's production is done in Thailand and China. All these small companies that were making cell phones, Apple just went and bought many of them because they also want cheap production, right? And now again, this is the customer lobby. They don't trust the Chinese, Korean device makers. Okay, they only trust Apple. Okay, these guys only trust Apple. Chinese, Korean device makers would not have a market if there was no Apple because they're not innovators. The market is getting so crowded that they're unable to maintain their profits. Everybody is eating into each other's profits, right? So Apple creates the market. Apple is not dependent on any of these. And if they decided that, okay, this company makes this very well, they just go out and buy that company or outsource to that company. All of Apple's production is done in Thailand. In fact, the iMac and the iPhone were made possible because of cheap production in Thailand and China, because otherwise it would be unaffordable to make. You would not be able to afford it. It would be like 10 lakh rupees for a phone or something. So Apple is the person who controls the market. Apple is the irreplaceable part of the market. Today, if you remove Apple from the market, none of these companies would survive. The thing would become like a dog-eat-dog situation. All the profits would get wiped out. And just like the pager kind of disappeared from the market, you may have, cell phones also just getting but Apple basically evolves the phone more and more and more and more so that you can do so much with the phone that Apple is the go-to company in this market. They control 60%. They are the linchpin. They are the linchpin. Okay, so there's this book written by Seth Godin. He's a very, very famous, one of the world's foremost marketing geniuses. He's written a book called The Linchpin and how you can become a linchpin in your own industry. You should totally go out and get that book. In my mind, how do you become a linchpin in your industry is do not focus on the hashtag, not the game. All of that production and all of that, investing a lot of money to be able to do this, you can buy it. Okay, let's do this. Why don't you create a market, buy from somebody, deliver to them successfully, as Jeff Bezos did for the first 500 customers. Once you're able to do that, then you can set up your own production unit because you got the customers. So you're first manage the hashtag, the game part. Okay, and this stuff is hashtag is not this supply stuff is not the game. Okay, focus only on two things. How much can you sell it for? That is your revenue. And how much can you buy it for to supply to the guy who's paying you this thing? So that is cost. This is business. Revenue less cost is equal to profit. That is business. You don't need to go out and make everything yourself. You can just buy from your competition for all you care. Buy from your competition and give it away. Okay. So on the webinar that we're going to have on Thursday, I'll just give you the link once more. It's StartupFrat.club/webinar. Okay, I'm going to be giving away as a free gift a product from one of my competition, but I got the licensing rights to it. So I said, I've got, 5,000 people. We are 4,000 plus now. So congratulations. So I said, I've got, 5,000, 4,000 people that can potentially would like to know about you. And they gave me licensing rights to give away a limited number of copies of the course. It's a financial course on how to plan the finances when you're planning your startup, how to plan your finances. And if you're planning your startup for the next 1 year or so, you got to have your home finances also planned, because you don't want this stuff to start bothering you and all of that. So how to plan your business finances, how to plan your home finances if you're planning your own self-funded startup. Okay, and I'll be giving away this course for free on Thursday if you attend the webinar. Okay, so I have limited copies of them. I've got a licensing right to give away some of it for free. The course is free, you just access it. So if you attend the webinar on Thursday, I'll be giving you this course for free. And so don't focus on hashtag, not the game, focus on the game, which is how to get the money and how to buy the product and sell it to your customer. Okay, the second thing is try to be the linchpin. Try to be the linchpin. How do you be the linchpin? How am I trying to be the linchpin over here? Is do a lot of, if you can do, bring your personality into it through the use of video, and use Facebook to build you a small online community that trusts you, that builds your trust in you. You will be able to sell them stuff. You will be able to solve their problem, and it doesn't matter where you get the stuff from. You just get it from somewhere and supply it to them. And once 500 people have bought from you, then you start go out and building your own production facility. Okay. Okay, so these two things, don't focus on all of the other stuff. First, focus on getting 500 customers to get engaged with you. And how do you become the linchpin in your own market? How do you become the Apple or the Amazon in your own market? Use your personality. Nobody can replace you, right? There's a lot of people in this market, people who want to learn about business, who prefer to learn about this business from some of the bigger brands like Bada Business and Dr. Vivek Bindra and all that. Those are the big guns in the market. And then there are people like you who want to learn from me because that maybe the personality gels or whatever it is, right? So use video to build yourself a market for free, and then buy from somebody and solve their problem. Buy from somebody and sell it to your customer. And then do not focus on all of this investing money, taking a whole lot of risk and all in something that seems like it is business, but it is not business. Okay, it is a waste of your time, and it could be a waste of your money. You could be putting yourself and your family at great risk by investing 1 crore, 2 crore, 3 crore rupees and building like a production house and all of that. Don't do that. That is my advice. But if if your parents were in that business and they can teach you how to run that business successfully, then absolutely go for it. If your grandparents were in that business and they can teach you how to run it successfully, absolutely go for it. Okay, if you're learning it for the first time, don't go for it. Okay, so that's it from my side. I hope you liked the video. If you did like the video, just put your comments over there. And if you haven't registered yet, just go to startupfrat.club/webinar, and we will see you on Thursday night. Bye-bye.